Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yes. Am I awake or am I dreaming? So far gone, I won't look back. And when I move, there ain't no stopping me. You're pushing me up to the top. I saw the clouds looking angry, but then the sky.
Because now I know when something happens in our lives that is unexpected, you have to go into it in order to ever have any hope of coming through it. So when you go, guess what? When you come out the other side, you grow.
Brought out more in me than I thought that I didn't even know that I had.
That has given all of us a great hope for what we can do with our own messages, our abilities to deliver, but most importantly, to deliver it in an authentic and very, very intriguing way.
Have you ever been in something or felt something where the only way you felt you could deal with it was to leave, get away? I thought that was the meaning of control. It took me 4.5 years to stop looking around the room of my life, of my journey, of my purpose, digging in cushions for a remote that never existed.
Looking, re-looking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out. Things that do not serve you must go.
Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are.
Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost.
This thing is hard. You can't see it. It's Duolingo. I'm learning Romanian because I'm going to Romania. But you got to do it every day. And I haven't been doing that, so I kind of forgot. See, anything we want to master, we have to practice. So I'm going to do better. In a couple weeks, I'm going to say something. A whole sentence is my goal in Romanian. I promise. Remind me on that. Keep me accountable. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm so excited to be here. So much is going. Did I bring it? I did. So much has gone on in the world. Country singer icon, coal miner's daughter, Loretta Lynn, passed away at the age of 90, I believe it was, yesterday. And man, I'll never forget in 1985 when I saw Sissy Spacek play the role of Loretta Lynn in the movie A Coal Miner's Daughter, subsequently moving on to get the Oscar for that performance. She actually really sang all the songs herself, Sissy Spacek. And boy, that's when I really learned Loretta Lynn's story. What an incredible woman. Blessings, prayers, and healing in this time of sorrow for the Loretta Lynn family. Thank you so much, Loretta, for all you did to pour into us. So I'm happy everybody's here. It is hump day, y'all. It is hump day, middle of the week. And we're here today. We have Adam back from the UK, Adam Duvall, half of the duo that is responsible for. He's going no in the boy, half of the duo, because Carrie, we already know that's the hand that goes inside the puppet. Right. It's behind every great man there is, well, in this house, another great man. But in Adam's house, it's Carrie. I don't care what he's saying. Anyway, Adam Duvall is here doing really great things with the Mental Health Warriors. And I wanted to say, this morning I was minding my own business, and I got in the mail yesterday because I don't go in to vote anymore. They send me the ballots. And I was really encouraged this morning after coming home from the health club. There are 3 initiatives or propositions on our ballot for our city. One of them is, should the county of DuPage continue its support of mental health and substance abuse treatment and prevention through the funding of local nonprofits? So I saw that, and there's another one on here somewhere regarding mental health. So I was encouraged that, that's going on, that they put it in front of us. But that's why you have to vote too. It's not just for those obvious people. It's also sometimes for initiatives and propositions and things that make a difference, right? So get in the know. Find out what you need to know. Today, I know one thing. We're going to get into a lot regarding mental health, mental wealth, mental illness, mental wellness, all the different names it goes under. But today, I wanted to focus on stigma. Because I don't have it anymore. It's a superpower in my world. I don't care what they say. So how do you feel about mental illness? And what do you call it? Are you dealing with the bathtub ring known as stigma, shame, attached to whatever it could be, even if it's not mental health, anything that feels like a stigma that is not serving you? We're going to talk about it today. Here he comes, everybody. Put your hearts on the screen. It's our way of applauding digitally. Here he comes, Adam Duvall, all the way from the UK, and he's crazy. Adam, I saw you put your hat on. That's why you're muted. Well, unmute.
There you go.
There you go. You
Howdy.
look Amish. You look Amish. Is that are you trying to look Amish?
I don't know. This is actually Kerry's hat.
I like the hat. Tilt it down so we can see. What's going on in the other way.
There you go.
Down like this. Lower your head. Okay, I wanted to see what was going around it. Okay. Oh, that's that thing's leather.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Caddy's hat.
Yes.
So, how you doing, man?
I'm very good. Very good. Inspired, actually. Very inspired.
I see. I just want to say this. You know, we joke around a lot, but welcome to the show. But I wanted to also just say, hold on, let me get rid of this Romania app there so I can watch on my phone. I wanted to say, man, I've been watching you, and you look extremely peaceful in the last 6 months or so. What's happened in your world that's just made you I feel it, I see it. Tell everybody, I'm gonna dip out, say hello to everybody, and tell them a little bit about Adam and the Mental Health Warriors, and then I'm gonna come back in, find out what this new glow is all about. Here you go, all you, take it.
Yeah, well, if everyone don't know who I am, well, you need to. I'm Adam, founder of the Mental Health Warriors, and we use our own personal experiences to help others, getting stories out there. And this is what we want to do. We want to eradicate the stigma of mental illness or mental health, because at the end of the day, I've now come to terms, mental health, it doesn't exist because it's living rent-free in your mind. And that's exactly what it is.
You said it's living what in your mind?
It's mental health, and any other negativity is living in our mindset rent-free, and we need to get rid of it.
Oh, rent-free. Yeah, charge the shit out of that thing.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, didn't I tell you it's $1 million a minute to live in here? Oh, you don't got it? Bye. So, okay, listen, I found a little thing. I don't plan on us watching all of it, but it could happen because I couldn't watch it alone. It was really starting to get me in some feelings. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to watch more of it because we're here together now.
Right.
But when I was previewing it earlier this morning, I'm just going to be honest. I had to turn it off. It was just a lot. Take a look, you guys. Take a look, and then we're going to talk.
Hello.
Oh.
My name is Henry Boyd Jenkins. I have a diagnosis of schizophrenia.
I had depression. I had a miserable, horrible life for many years.
I also happen to have been diagnosed bipolar 1 disorder.
I'm also someone who suffers from chronic schizophrenia.
I suffer from borderline personality disorder,
major depression and anxiety.
I live with bipolar disorder.
My dad suffered from depression and anxiety.
My sister has bipolar disorder, and my nephew has schizophrenia.
Mental illness strikes with a two-edged sword. On one side are the symptoms and the stress and disability.
My dad committed suicide because of those feelings of anxiety and depression.
So I went from practicing law on that Friday to being in bed for a number of months.
On the other side, though, is community's reaction to illness, the prejudice and discrimination that makes up stigma.
Stigma happens because they're members of a group that are feared, despised, loathed.
Stigma sucks.
Stigma has impacted my own confidence.
I just thought I was abandoned, ignored by people. I've come to learn that it's a very common occurrence with people with mental illness.
The stigma, the version of what it is to be mentally ill, has cost me 2 of my siblings out of 3.
Oh.
It's woven into the fabric of our society, and it stems back centuries, really, when mental illness was considered a character flaw.
There's such a bad stigma attached with having a mental illness or showing a symptom of it, and it's just not okay. Not in the high school, not at all, actually.
Every life is touched by mental illness.
Doesn't matter if you're black, you're white, you're a man, you're a woman, you're young, you're old. It affects all of us.
In very personal ways.
People who have a mental illness are excluded and treated unfairly. And this is because people are afraid of mental illness.
In the long run, stigma produces a kind of isolation that grows from fear.
As a kid, my dad would vanish into the ether. No one said anything. I learned later, no one was allowed to say anything.
Silence helps perpetuate this stigma surrounding mental health and suicide.
The conversation simply needs to start.
When we just open up the conversation and begin speaking about it, it's amazing what can happen.
It's okay to talk about it.
Talk to others.
Talk about these things.
Talk out loud without fear.
Because as long as stigma exists, it prevents the society as a whole from incorporating these illnesses into a dialogue.
With advocacy, we can help educate, inspire, and inform people.
I co-founded Bring Change to Mind because I figured if my family was this way, there were millions of other families just like us.
Organizations like Bring Change to Mind are vitally important in our anti-stigma landscape.
And the less stigma, the more people will seek care and get the treatment that they need.
As millennials, we know the power our group can bring to cause social change.
And by connecting with millennials in social media
to end the stigma of mental illness,
we can make a real difference.
What they do and what efforts they take on really will move that needle of stigma and move toward the goal of ending stigma toward mental illness in contemporary society.
We have to be the generation to really normalize and get people talking about it, because if they don't, nothing's going to change, and we need it to change.
Thanks to Bring Change to Mind, I no longer feel like I'm an outcast.
And I think that BC2M is doing an awesome job of connecting people. And connecting people is what it's all about.
Having a mental illness is not a sentence to a bleak and painful life. You can have a good life. There is hope.
I'm here today because I got the right help, and you can do it too.
Life is good. Okay, it's even wonderful.
A lot of credit goes to Bring Change to Mind.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
So we saw Glenn Close, and I'm grateful. I'm happy to see a person with influence using her voice to be transparent about the situation surrounding mental health within her own family. You know, a lot of people, especially you know, people that are in the limelight, so to speak, are very protective, as well as those of us in our families who are not in any kind of limelight. I know in the African American culture, maybe you can shed some light on what it's like over where you're at in Europe, or just in your personal family, about don't tell anybody, or even, you know, like that person we have in our family that people make fun of, you know, oh, Uncle Walter, you know, he's kind of, you know, and he was not crazy. He wasn't crazy. He had ADHD. He had some bipolar schizophrenia going on. And then later he had dementia, another form of mental illness. So Adam, what about your family? What about, well, first of all, what mental illness did you grow up and maybe even still deal with?
Yeah, well, obviously the labels, because that's clearly what they are. I've got depression, I've got severe trauma, I've got severe anxiety, I've got CPTSD. There you go. That's what I live with.
Did you say CPTSD?
CPTSD, that's complex post-traumatic stress disorder.
Wow, I never heard that C.
CPTSD. Yeah, there's a difference between PTSD and complex PTSD.
What is the difference?
Complex is where there's a constant reminder and where it's constantly going inside your mind, having those constant flashbacks compared to regular.
So how old were you when somebody first said, you know, something wrong with that boy? They need to get him checked. You know, how old were you when they said, you've got this, and threw that first label up against you?
Well, it was my own family that actually caused me to have these issues, because they abused me growing up. So it took me until 2008 to actually go and get assessed. And then that's when, oh, come on, Lorraine, now talking my age, come on. 2008, so we're talking, oh no, 14 years ago, so I was in 17.
Oh, so you're a kid.
Yeah.
What made you, how did you end up wherever it was, where they told you whatever they said? Did someone force you to go? Did you go on your own? What was it like? Frame that for us.
Well, I actually went on my own, and obviously when they mentioned like depression and all that, I didn't know that was mental health. I didn't. I thought that was just some sort of illness or something like that. But it was actually about 7 years ago, I actually realized that is mental health. And that's when I realized mental health does exist. But now I know It doesn't.
Were you ever prescribed anything for your?
Yes, I grew up. I grew up addicted to prescription medication. So I was growing up. I was in and out of hospital every 6 months because I just wanted these prescription medications.
Wait a minute. You mean before you were 17?
Yeah.
Well, how did?
Exactly.
So I know.
We've got something called the NHS over here, National Health Services. I don't like them because they keep fobbing me off every time, but it's one of them. But even them, go on.
Wait, so what kind of medicine were you on, and what was it for?
I was on paracetamol, ibuprofen. I just wanted the lot.
What was it for, though?
What was that?
What was it doing? What was the purpose of having
numbing the pain? Numbing the pain.
Numbing the pain.
Yeah, because I was brought up by my own narcissistic, alcoholic mother to realize that everything is healing from either a tablet or bottom of a bottle.
So, Adam, how did you know there was something beyond the pills? Because at 17, you chose to go find a different route.
It was actually my head teacher at school. Now I'm talking a long time ago. He knew there was something wrong, but I was actually, from that video, I was living in that fear of actually speaking out, because at the same time I wanted to talk, but I thought what was happening to me was a good behavior. That was how people were supposed to behave. But so I was in that bit of a dilemma, dead end, as they say. So they knew something was going wrong, but I didn't know how to say it, because, like with many people, they want to talk about how they feel, but words can't always describe how what's going on.
This is true. Now listen. Do you remember, Adam, the first time you thought, I don't want to be here anymore? You know, where it was fastly approaching, something's got to give, or I'm going to give up. How old were you then? And because I'm trying to see, were you on the medication then, or was it when you were off the medication? Because you always hear people say all the time, like, especially like people with those balance issues, schizophrenia, bipolar, that, oh, she's off her meds. And I've seen people dismiss it, like, that's Gloria, she must be off her meds, as if it's no big deal. And that's when a lot of people end up considering, and oftentimes being successful, is taking their own lives. What was the situation like the very first time for you?
Oh, the very first time, it was hard. I'm trying to think what year it was, but I was young. I think I was about 15 years old.
Take us into that day or night.
Yeah. I basically attempted to overdose. That's what I wanted to do, because I was constantly going to the doctors practically every few days saying, I want these tablets, alcohol. Because I started drinking when I was, 11 years old. That's when she got me on the alcohol, and that was it.
What were you drinking at 11?
I was drinking lager,
beer.
Yeah, lager. That's what I was on.
So, Adam, what do you think today? Now that, look at how far you've come. The distance between helps us to see. It's almost like a mosaic or a big piece of art. Like if you're at it's a big, the whole wall is a piece of art. You can't really see it when you're right up on it. You got to go back here and go, oh, now I get it.
Yes.
So now today, we're going back to the stigma part. How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did stigma play into you not telling anybody or asking for help?
Definitely 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Because what got me, I wrote it down in that piece, is when they said a lot of us look at it as a character flaw. And that's exactly why I
Yeah.
want everybody to know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, no one's going to want. It's like people will think it's catchy, I thought.
Yeah, well, picking on from that video, as inspiring as it was, I believe there was not enough men talking in that video. That's where the stigma lies with men, because we're being taught and brainwashed, shall I say, without sounding sexist, by women, girlfriend, you name it. Oh, you need to be masculine. You need to be man of the house and man up and all that. No, you don't. Because when you're being masculine, you're taking away that feminine side, that vulnerability, and that's not right.
No.
Yes. So us men need to talk.
And that's true, because I believe, cousins of those feelings, like being vulnerable, cousins are like being transparent. All the things that we need to do to stay within principle.
Yes.
So clearly you were not successful. How many times have you, that you remember, did you try to take your own life?
3 times.
3 times. Were they all in one season, in one
No,
period,
no.
or spread out over your lifetime?
The first one, I was 15 years old. The second, I was 22. And the last one was in 2019.
So which do you think is worse? You guys...
The 2019 one. The 2019.
Oh, no. Here's another question, though. I'm going to write that down so you can tell us about 2019.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, when I ask which was worse, and this question is for all of you too, so please drop your answer in the comment if you resonate with this, if you have in fact been where so many of us have, in that place where we thought there's no reason we're here, we should be here, let's just end it. Which do you think was worse? The stigma of what you felt about whatever it was you were feeling, depression, whatever, or after the suicide attempt, the shame of, oh my God, now everyone knows I tried because there's a stigma attached to a suicide attempt. She tried to kill herself. So which do you think was worse? Which was harder to deal with?
I definitely believe the stigma.
What?
I definitely believe the stigma.
Why do you say that?
Why I say that? Because when you've actually attempted it, because when you're actually talking, like I see all these posts on all kinds of social media saying, "Oh, my depression's getting bad, my mental health's getting the better of me. I want to end it," and stuff like that. When you're actually saying you want to end it, you don't want to end it. That's you. I'm not saying attention seeking. That's you crying out for you need help. You want someone to hear you out. But where it's the silent people you need to be careful of. It's the people that's being quiet.
I agree.
Yes.
Carrie was trying to tell you it was 17 when you were trying to figure out the age.
Carrie's right above me.
That's over. Hi, Carrie. And hello, Annette. So nice to see you here today.
Annette, part of my team as well.
There you go. Misty, Riston, nice to see you here. Absolutely. I second that emotion. No squatters in the mind. Absolutely. We're going to get to some more of these comments here in a minute. But first, I want to ask you this. Adam, let's go into, getting from underneath that wet, soggy wool blanket of stigma. For me, because I still deal with it, but I have more control of it, I find, the more I incorporate it in my story. And I talk about it. In other words, I beat the whisperers to the front of the stage. Get out of my way. And I get it out there. It doesn't sting nearly as much. So talk about the mental health warriors. Why is this? I love this group. I've watched it grow, and the people that come through there and sharing stories and whatnot are just phenomenal. Talk about why you started the Mental Health Warriors and what is it really all about? Because it's been how many years now?
2 years, over 2 years.
Over 2 years.
Yes. So June next year it'll be June, July will be 3 years. But either way, it wasn't me that actually came up with the idea. It was my late friend who sadly passed away almost a year ago, and that was Philip Cham. He actually saw me, when I was down, and he rang me up one day and he says, Adam, what the hell are you doing? You've got a lot of potential. You need to create the mental health warriors. And I was starting questioning what the hell is he talking about? So I thought, right, okay, I'll do it. And he said it'll help. So that's what I did. We went on the Zoom and we got it created. And it was him that actually came up with my nickname, the Mental Health Warrior. And we did it that. Did I believe it was going to be successful at first? No, I didn't. I thought it was going to be these temporary things. So I was actually ready to click delete, and that was it. End of, see you later. But then I started seeing it growing. And then that's when I started recruiting people like Kerry and then people from Australia and America. And here we are today.
Yeah, because there are more. Well, I don't believe there is a person alive that doesn't have one shade of a mental illness or another. I just don't believe it.
What I believe is it doesn't matter whether a COVID or anything like that. The real biggest pandemic there is mental health. That's the biggest pandemic going on, and people need to start talking about it.
So, and here, that's you brought up COVID. A lot of people have found their way to I'm okay with talking about it through the door of the pandemic, because all of a sudden the entire world had a reason to say, oh, I'm not doing so well here. Let's talk about depression. Warning signs of depression. Because it used to sneak up on me. Yeah. Like, I could go to bed and be thinking all is okay. It's not roses and unicorns, but I'm going to get up tomorrow and do my best again. And then I wake up and I can barely move. And I stay in bed one day, which then turned, one time I rolled into, I was living with my birth mom then, probably the first month I met her. And I got depressed about something and was bent over, tying my shoe. And I heard my siblings, they came over and they didn't know I was there because there was no car in the driveway. It was being undercoated at the Toyota dealer. So they thought the house was empty. And I was like, oh my God, my siblings, they're here to spend time with me where they weren't. And I heard them saying, what if this guy is a fraud? What if this guy was tying my shoe and I could hear it through the heating grate? And I was the vent. And I was like, and they were like, what if he's here to just take from our mom? And I just shut down. Next thing you know, instead of standing up from the bed, I just scooted down, like melted to the floor, rolled into the walk-in closet, shut the door, and I stayed in there in a fetal position for 3.5 days. 3.5 days. And I barely, if breathing was not automatic, I don't think I would have had the courage to continue even. It was that dark. And that was the first time depression really tried to take me out once and for all. So let's talk about that. What were some of the warning signs that you clearly know now that you did not see then? Depression.
Well, I know there's a saying that you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Mm-hmm. But in reality, you can choose your family. You can. Why I say that? I'm going to elaborate on that because my parents, they're alive, but they're not in my life. They're not. The only family I've got right now is me, Kerry, and the kids. That's it. And that's one part of my family, but the other family is social media. That's my social media family. And when you're receiving this negativity, see that as an opportunity. Don't see it as a trigger or anything like that. See it as an opportunity because at the end of the day, you need this. You need this negative in your life so you can plant that seed so you can blossom.
Do you think, Adam, that a lot of people, I think we learn how to be emotional bullies from our family, because you know you grow up from a little kid hearing about certain people in the family. You know, my gay cousin, God rest his soul, Leon. Thank God for him, because I saw a real living LGBTQ person early in my life. But I also heard those stories when he wasn't around, but the way they would talk about him and make fun of him. So of course now there was a stigma. Well, I don't want him to know that. Maybe what if that's me? I don't want to be that. So let's talk about how we turn that around. Because I'll just say this. A lot of us may think that we're doing better than our parents and grandparents did simply because we're not picking on the people closest to us. But, and be honest, how about when we're out in the world with our kids or anyone, and we see that person who's homeless, who's just walking and singing and talking and in their own world, we all go, you know, or we give them that look, or that stigma. Let's talk about that. The stigma that isn't attached with hurtful words. I'm talking about looks, or when we pretend we don't see, or that the person is invisible. All of that. Do you think, Adam, when you see a panhandler, person begging for money or food, do you think, I wonder what mental illness they're dealing with, or do you just think, get off your ass and get a job?
You have to think both sides of the coin there, because here in our local town, you've got both. You've got people that are genuinely homeless, but then you've also got beggars. So you need to weigh it up carefully here, because there has been times where people have gone out, especially elderly people, they've approached these type people, give them money, give them like a sausage roll or a pasty or McDonald's, whatever, and then an hour later, they're seen in the pub or seen going to the drug dealer. So you have to be very careful with these people. I'd like to talk to them and try and help them best I can, because people that are homeless, because I know how it feels. I've been homeless in my time as well. I've stayed on the streets, and it's hard. It is hard, but you just don't know what to do. You don't.
You don't. Listen, we're going to take a brief break. Get your questions and comments together. We have a lot more to talk about within this broadcast, and we want to hear from you. So now's a great time to share out the broadcast so we can get some more opinions, viewpoints, insights from people out there. In the meantime, I want you to think about this one. We've got a lot of comments we're going to get to in there. But when we come back, I want everybody to think of one way that we could, as a people, do something about removing the stigma. It's easy to say, but how do you really make it happen? That and more when we return. Don't you dare go away. We'll be right back.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
Good morning, and welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. We're going to get my wonderful guest, Adam Duvall, back in here in just a moment. But first, it's time. Yes, V8, one of my favorite beverages. Wasn't always that way. I had a collar around me. I was in love with Diet Coke, and it was not in love with me because it wasn't there to serve me. So I ditched it and picked this up instead. 60 calories in every can. It has 2.5 servings of vegetables. I don't know how they do it, but they cram them all in this one little can. It's easy peasy to find. It's 100% vegetable juice from concentrate, and you find it down your juice aisle. Don't wait until it's too late. Pop the top and say, I'm glad I had my V8. I do it every day. Adam. Welcome back. You're crazy, man. So we were talking about stigma. And I asked before we went to the break. And this is a tough question because I still haven't come up with one. But do you have an answer? What do you think? What's one thing you think we can all do to help remove the stigma? Really be effective, not just say it, but really be effective.
Collaboration. That's what I'm saying, because we've all got mental health. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, and if people come together to make one big voice, more of an impact in the world to actually getting help and to getting that stigma ending.
I agree. So the best way I can think for a person, including myself, to do what you just described is to incorporate my own experiences within when I tell my story. But name it. Don't just say I was homeless. Don't just say I was, having trouble with my family. No, give it a name. I was what they call clinically depressed. Now, you might not know what that means. Boom, there we go. Or, I was diagnosed with. And let's talk about that. What about diagnoses? And then I want to go into, I mean, from a medical doctor who wants to write us a prescription. But then we talk to the person from woo-woo world, who, as they call it, and holistically, they say, well, try this. Go vegan. Do that. Do this. I did not know there were so many holistic options to do the job of what they tell us pills do. And they do the job, in my experience, much better and more effectively with a lot less after effects or whatever they call those things that they say so fast that you can't even hear it. Oh, it may cause and death. They make sure you hear that last one and death. I was like, so what do you think? How do you feel about the holistic approach, Adam?
Well, before I say that, Lorraine, I have to pick on your T-shirt. I really do. Because it says Infinity's End. No, it doesn't. Because our stories live forever. I just have to say that. I just have to say that.
On the back.
What's that say?
What does that say?
Loyal to the end.
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
End.
Flip it around. There you go.
Oh, I tried that once and it nearly choked me to death.
Right, anyway, holistic approach. Right. I don't know about any of you, but it was actually only recent I've started tapping into spirituality.
Only recently?
Tapping into spirituality.
Yeah, but you said only recently?
Recently, yes.
What did you reach for before? Nothing?
Well, believe it or not, and I'm probably going to get shouted at here, but growing up, I thought spirituality was a big hoax. I didn't believe in it.
You thought it was a hoax?
Yes, I didn't believe in it. But exactly.
Because we're angry at things and
yes.
Why would, if there was something, why would it let this happen to me?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Here's something Misty said. She agrees with you, Adam. She said earlier when Adam said one thing we can do is make a phone call to someone who we haven't heard from or that doesn't seem themselves and just check on them. Like any illness, the sooner we catch the symptoms, the easier it is to manage. Many people need to speak. That is the first line of treatment. I agree. I second that emotion.
Yeah, the first step into I can't say recovery. First step into progressing with your life is admitting there is a problem.
Why did you just change that?
Because you can't recover from, for example, mental health. Mental health lives with us forever.
Right.
But
it's
all
point.
Yeah, but it's all about how we respond to that situation. Yes, you're going to have barriers in your life. Yes, you're going to have things coming at you. But if you got that right mindset, the right support around you, it is, because I believe the biggest disability and the biggest barrier is your mindset.
Agreed. And Annette says we all can start with ourselves. A deep evaluation of the self, and then start to make changes, and then be the example that you wish to see in the world. Now, I want to piggyback and say this. You know, this is all well and good, all of the things we're saying, but how many of you remember when you're inside that cocoon, especially depression, when you're inside that cocoon, how nothing that is positive seems to fit or make sense at the time, no matter what people say. Because I had people say, "Oh, Lauren, what are you talking about? Look around you. You're so talented. Boom, boom, boom." And at the time, it just isn't resonating. What can we do? Because here's the thing. When you said you're never done with it, you don't recover, it's how you're responding. That's important.
Yeah.
Because that's why I say in my master class, one of the things that has been a big benefit for me, and I do it still today, when I'm at my best, yesterday, for a plethora of reasons, it was one of the most empowering and anointed days I've had in a long, long time, for a lot of different reasons. So what I did before I went to bed was to journal. I wrote a few Post-it notes for the wall of purpose. I marked a passage in the book that I keep all over the house, 3 copies of it. Why? And why do I put like paper clips and things in them? I'll tell you why. Because that is so when I wake up through the lens of my mental illness, and I am not this person, I have time traveled, so to speak, and left things where I can find them when I don't show up as this guy, to help me remember it gets better.
Yes.
Keep going. What do you do? Do you have any things that you do, any processes or tips that you can offer people how to stay ahead of the pain? Almost like what the dentist tells us to do.
Absolutely. Acknowledge the pain, accept the pain, but also same time, don't focus on it. Because why I say don't focus on the pain is because when you're focused on the pain, you're always going to be in pain. Distract yourself. Do something. Have you noticed, Lorraine, that when we growing up and we did things we love, now we're adults, we forgot that ever happened, those events ever happened. So it's like, don't get rid of your inner child. Around Christmas, Kerry hates taking me shopping in toy shops around Christmas because I let my inner child out like it's not tomorrow, and I'm going to continue doing that now.
I know that's right.
Exactly.
Let's talk about, I believe in the promise. You guys hear it every day here, where the importance of having a place, a sacred space, where you can go with all the things that matter to you. So let's talk about the Mental Health Warriors, the page, the group. What's it all about? Well, I'll put that up there because today our theme is #Stigma Sucks. It really does. So tell us about this.
Yeah. What we do is we bring people on from all over the world, even though, hello, Kerry. Kerry, come here. We bring people on from all over the world, get their stories out there, and when they get the story out there, yes, they're nervous at first, but then when...
Hi, Lorraine. I'm just getting ready for the school run.
Oh, you're getting ready to take the kids to school?
No, I'll go pick them up.
Oh, that's right. It's morning here. It's afternoon there.
Anyway.
Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, what we do is we bring them on, like Annette, she's got her own show. I've got my show. Kerry's got her show. We bring people on from all over the world, and they're nervous at first when it's the first time, but then when it comes to the end, after like half an hour to an hour or so of talking live, it's like talking to an old friend, because the pressure is lifted. And that's what we do, because it's good to be serious when it comes to these things, but we have fun on the Mental Health Warriors. We bring fun and humour and laughter to the mental health, because when we're laughing at things like this,
right,
it can't get better than us.
So how do people get to the Facebook group? It's a group or just a page?
It's both. It's both. We've got page and 2 groups.
Okay. Hold on. I'm looking for something.
We've got a private group is where people we talk, and that's where like the shows get shared into. But we've also got a community group where people can come in, and it's a good group, and people can share about what they're struggling with.
I love that. I love that. And listen, if you're a person who isn't ready to speak your truth regarding trauma or anything like that, it's okay to go into these mental health warrior opportunities and just be a fly on the wall, just like on Clubhouse. You don't have to talk unless you want to. You speak when you're ready to, but you can learn and you can start, removing the barnacles of shame, dissolving those tattoos, if you will, of shame. They are not indelible. They will come off. Sometimes we just have to scrub a little harder. So, Adam, what time? Oh, we got 2 minutes. What would you want people to know if they were to forget everything about what they've heard here today? What one thing would you hope they not ever, 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 never, ever, ever forget?
Never forget that you are powerful. You are powerful human beings. Don't underestimate yourself. Because look at me. 2019, I attempted suicide. Now I'm on my journey now, going to university twice a week. At the end of these few years, I'm going to be Dr. Adam.
That's right. I love that you're going for your PhD. I just love you, Adam.
I am going for it.
You're going to grab it.
Of course I am.
You guys, here you go. YouTube, get over and check out the Mental Health Warrior TV. And also, here you go on Facebook, the Mental Health Warriors, MH Warriors. I'm going to take the liberty of dropping both of these links inside the comment section. Hopefully it'll make it easier for you to get over and check it out. Listen, if we don't like things in our lives, we simply change them. Sometimes we need help doing that. This is a place where you can find it. Find your sacred space, your sacred place. Ask yourself every day if the people who occupy the front row seats of your life, are they healthy enough to be sitting there, starting with yourself? Listen, Adam, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. You guys, Adam, tell them when your show is.
We go out daily. We're not doing anything today, but I'm live tomorrow with a singer.
Okay. So if they go over and follow you, they're going to get notified. It's there. You know, I love what someone put in the comments, and they were, I think, repeating what you said, Adam. Today, reach out. Let someone that you haven't spoken to or reached out to in a while know that you're thinking about them. Ask how they're doing. Do a wellness check. Do a love check. Check in, and we won't check out. Not alone, anyway. Thank you so much. Everybody, listen, tomorrow, America's Supermom, mother of 14.
It's not Kerry, is it?
No. Oh, no. Aw, you're so sweet. Lachelle Atkins, America's Supermom, is here, and she's got something new to talk about. And it's more than just the red, white, and blue. Show up tomorrow and you'll find out. Listen, thank you so much. As always, thank you, Adam. I'll join you guys, and I hope you'll join me out front tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central. So together, we can create history and a divine moment in time together right here on Bathrobe Moments. Be the best. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you. way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul, and honey, I'll show you mine.